Have you ever gotten a phone call that shattered your world in a single sentence? It was 3:12 a.m. when my phone lit up. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something, mother's instinct, maybe, made me pick it up. The voice on the other end was quiet but firm. "Ma'am, your daughter Lena has been admitted to the ICU. You need to come now." I asked, "Where's her husband?" "Derek." A pause. Then, "We've left messages. He hasn't responded." That was the moment everything snapped into slow motion. One moment, I'm in my pajamas in Texas. The next, I'm frantically booking the first flight to Los Angeles, praying my daughter will still be alive by the time I land. And what I found when I walked into that hospital room, it wasn't just heartbreaking. It was infuriating. Because while Lena lay in a cold ICU bed, unconscious and fighting for her life, her husband Derek was tagging friends on Instagram, smiling shirtless with champagne on a yacht off the Malibu coast. I had so many questions. And soon, I would get answers. But nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to uncover next. Because Derek didn't just abandon her. He betrayed her in ways no one saw coming. What do you expect to see when your child's in the ICU? Monitors? Nurses rushing around? Maybe a loved one holding their hand? I walked into that cold hospital room expecting all of it. But instead, I found Lena alone. Tubes in her arms, oxygen mask over her face, monitors beeping like they were counting down something I didn't want to think about. The nurse looked up. She had that rehearsed, gentle voice. "You must be Claire." "I'm so sorry." I didn't cry. Not yet. I asked the question I was dreading. Has Derek, her husband, has he been here? Her hesitation said it all. "He hasn't visited. We've called, texted, left voicemails." I looked around. No flowers. No overnight bag. Not even a single note. Just Lena's phone sitting on the rolling tray beside her. 37 missed calls to Derek. All unanswered. I picked it up. Opened the messages. "Babe, I'm scared. My fever's worse. I think I need to go in. Where are you?" That was 4 days ago. No reply. Not even a read receipt. I sat down beside her, numb, holding her hand while her skin burned and her body shivered beneath thin hospital blankets. Then, a notification popped up on her lock screen. Derek just posted a story. And what I saw in it, that's when something inside me broke. What would you do if your daughter was in critical condition and her husband was celebrating like he'd won the lottery? I tapped Lena's screen, and there it was, his story. Crystal clear ocean. Sun-kissed deck. Music blaring. Derek, shirtless, grinning like a game show host, holding a champagne bottle with both hands, foam spraying into the air. Tagged in Malibu Yacht Club with a string of emojis, clinking glasses, money with wings, water wave, fire. I stared at it for a second too long. My hands were shaking. He wasn't missing. He wasn't in meetings. He wasn't even trying to pretend he cared. He was partying. And then something hit me. I opened Lena's banking app. She had once given me access, just in case. What I saw made my jaw clench. Her business account, nearly empty. Less than $700 left. This was a fund that used to hold over $80,000 just months ago. I checked the history. Wire transfers. Dozens. Names I didn't recognize. One recurring label, Derek S., offshore transfer. My chest tightened. I wasn't just looking at a negligent husband. I was looking at someone who had been quietly bleeding her dry while she got sicker by the day. And Lena never saw it coming. So I made one phone call. To my lawyer. Freeze everything connected to Derek Sanders. Every account. Every asset. Today. He hesitated. That's going to burn bridges. Good, I said. Let it all burn. But what came next would make him come running, and not for the reason you'd expect. Have you ever watched someone go from smug and smiling to completely shattered in under 60 seconds? The next morning, just after I'd gotten Lena stabilized and spoke with the doctor, I heard the elevator doors open across the ICU lobby. And there he was. Derek Sanders, in designer sunglasses, wearing a hoodie like it could hide his ego. But it couldn't hide his fury. He stormed straight toward me. "What the hell did you do?" he snapped. "Why are my cards declined? Why can't I access my money?" The nurse behind the counter flinched. I didn't. I stood up slowly and met his eyes. Nice to see you found time to show up. You can't just freeze my life. I held up Lena's phone. Still open. I didn't say a word, just turned the screen to show his yacht post from the night before. Then flipped to her messages. You ignored 37 calls while your wife was dying. But you had time to dance on a boat? He tried to spin it. Claimed he was working on remote treatment options and taking meetings. So I pulled out the bank transfers. Offshore, daily. Tens of thousands gone. His face paled. For once, Derek Sanders had no words. Security stepped closer. He raised his hands, pretending to calm down. You don't understand, he said, lowering his voice. It's more complicated than that. But it wasn't. He wasn't complicated. He was just exposed. And I hadn't even told Lena yet. What do you even say to your daughter when she wakes up and still thinks the man who abandoned her is her hero? Lena's eyes fluttered open 3 days after I arrived. Her voice was barely a whisper through the oxygen mask, but the first thing she said? Where's Derek? My stomach twisted. She didn't know. She still believed he'd been there, that he cared. I gave her the softest lie I could. He's resting. He's around. She nodded faintly, her hand limp in mine. But that small lie felt heavier than anything I'd done so far. Over the next 2 days, Lena regained strength in patches. Her fever broke. She started asking questions. And eventually, she remembered. I told him I wasn't feeling right, she said, eyes narrowed. He said I was just stressed. Her voice cracked. He left for a business trip. I kept calling him when the fever spiked. He said I was overreacting. And then came the worst part. She looked at me and said, Mom, I thought maybe I was. I thought maybe I was being dramatic. That was the moment I knew. She hadn't just been neglected. She'd been manipulated. Gaslit into silence while her body failed her. I took her hand and said, You weren't dramatic. You were dying. And he let it happen. I showed her the bank statements, the messages, the yacht photos. She didn't cry. She just stared for a long time. And said quietly, Make sure he never touches a cent of my money again. I told her I already had. But Derek wasn't done yet. Because the next morning, he tried to rewrite the story. Have you ever seen someone so desperate to save face, they'd burn their own reputation just to play the victim? The very next morning, Derek went live on Instagram. Yes, live. From the front seat of his car. Eyes puffy, hair messy, voice trembling just enough to sound broken. But not for Lena. No. It was all for him. They've turned her against me, he told his followers. I've been blocked out of my own accounts. I loved her. I was trying to help. But her mom's always hated me. He threw out buzzwords, emotional manipulation, smear campaign, false accusations. He even claimed I was behind Lena's illness, that I stressed her out so much, her body broke down. And for a second, I wondered, would anyone believe him? Then the comments started pouring in. Screenshots of the yacht story. Bank records. A friend who confirmed Derek was celebrating while Lena lay in the ICU. Even one of the yacht girls chimed in. He said his wife was on a retreat. The mask shattered. His video got flagged for misinformation. His account? Banned within 24 hours. Meanwhile, Lena got stronger. We left the hospital together 2 weeks later. She moved back to Texas with me. Quiet, tired, but safe. One night she looked at me and said, I'm not sure who I was married to. And I said, you don't have to know. You just have to never go back. She hasn't. And Derek? He lost more than money. He lost the narrative. He lost the woman who trusted him. And this time? No yacht, no lie, no story could bring that back.